Hey, third grade. Today we are working on asymmetrical balance. That means that what we draw is not going to be the same on both sides. It's going to be similar, but it's also going to be different. It's also going to be a good review on hot and cold colors and different kinds of lines. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I have my paper horizontally in front of me, so it's not tall. I'm going to take it and I'm just going to fold it over. Now you don't have to do this step. You could, if you are using in a sketchbook, you could just draw a line. I'm just using it to figure out where my center line is. Now you are going to draw with pencil and eraser, so if you make any mistakes you can erase so that you can see really well. I'm just going to go ahead and use my marker and just do my best not to make any mistakes. So I am first going to draw that line down the center where I have my fold to divide my paper into two even spots. Now I know you said we are doing asymmetrical, Mrs. Schultz, right? We didn't want it to be the same. It won't be with what we draw. I'm going to first, I know it seems like I'm being symmetrical, but first I'm going to draw two circles. Now, you might have something that you could place on here and trace around to make really perfect circles. I'm going to just do my best to try to make them the same. They're not going to be exact, but I'm just doing my best. Again, you could trace something and make some really nice circles. Now, we're going to be showing a hot side and a cold side. It's going to kind of gives me the feel of like a sun and a moon too. So I'm going to start by just working on the sun side or my hot side, and I'm going to start adding some curvy lines that go all the way to the edge of my paper, nice and neat. You'll want to take your time when you do this. Try to evenly space them going around the sun out to the edge. If you're drawing along with me, you can always pause it to catch up. I'm going to go back in between each of these and add another kind of line. So I'm going to do a curly line that goes in between each one, just to help fill in that space a little bit more. Again, please take your time so that they're nice and neat and even. You're drawing with a pencil, so if you make a mistake, you can erase and just trace it later. If you don't have a Sharpie marker at home to trace with, you could always use a black crayon or a regular black marker. All right, so for the other side, I'm going to go, instead of my like curvy, free-flowing lines, I'm going to do more geometric. So I'm going to start with just straight lines. And again, I'm going to evenly spread them out, going straight out to the edge of my paper from my circle, wherever that is, trying to keep them as neat as possible. Okay, then I'm going to go back in between each one and do a zigzag, nice and neat. So now you can see it is no longer the same on both sides of my paper, but it's still balanced. Then you can go ahead and put faces inside. So I'm going to put some eyes first. Now, artists use color to show emotion too. So since we are doing hot colors on one side and cold colors on the other side, I'm going to show you how. So artists, when we're using cold colors, sometimes they're using it to show the emotion of being just kind of sad, okay? If you're using hot colors, a lot of times they're trying to show the emotion of happiness or joy. It's more exciting, more energetic. So you can go ahead and make one side look more happy. Okay. I'm going to give him some little eyebrows too. You don't have to, but if you want to, you can. Now, you're not going to take a picture at this point, but if you get done with this on week 1, for the second half, you're going to be coloring it. And I'm going to show you how to do that now. You're going to wait until you are all done coloring it to send me any pictures, okay? So let's talk about hot and cold colors. Here's the color wheel. Hot colors are reds, oranges, yellows. They're all on one side of the color wheel here. Cold colors, or cool colors, are purples, blues, and greens. So any turquoise too would fit in there. Pinks would fit in hot colors. You're going to make the happy side your hot colors, okay? So when you're coloring, you can use whatever you want. You could even paint this with like watercolors or tempera paints. You can use markers, crayons, color pencils. Just make sure that you are using hot colors on the happy side. So I would use like pink, yellow, different oranges, reds. Okay, on the cold side, I would use light greens, dark greens, blue, these. Now, we're not going to do any neutral colors, you know, grays, browns, or blacks for this. Just make sure that you're coloring it completely and neatly, taking your time, doing your best. When it's all completely done, then you'll take a picture and submit it to me. You have the 2 weeks to do this project, so you don't have to do it all in one day. Just make sure that you are taking your time, doing your best, and I hope you guys enjoy this project.